Well, in the last lecture, we have discussed Christian religion as to how it is sort of blamed and then seen to be responsible for the kind of ecological crisis which we are facing now, strongly argued by historian Lynn White, and also we have discussed how the Buddhist principles of conservation of animals and plants were strongly seen in the script or the holy book of Buddhism. Now, today we will be looking at how Hindu religion in a way tries to look at the kind of conservation of not just nature, but also how it encoded certain kind of principles which are being enshrined in the holy book of Hinduism. And we will move on to the Christian religions in a way how they tries to relook and perhaps tries to sort of reposition themselves in the context of the environmental crisis. And we will be citing a few examples like the Bishnoi community and also the Chipko movement, which was perhaps the first environmental movement in India. Now, moving on, how do we situate religion, and how is religion able to sort of create some kind of awareness in human which is sort of different from the scientific or technological reasoning. Normally, we have over and over again discussed in the lectures, in my previous lectures, that how science and technology, the combination of these two, is seen to be pretty much lethal, and then which in a way has posed a serious threat to the perception or in terms of exploitation of natural resources. Now, this for quite some time this science and technology is seen to be liberating enough, and this which are based on scientific reason is in a way not adequate enough for us to solve the kind of problems which we have now. Therefore, as the theme of this particular series of lecture, since the last lecture, we have been trying to look at how one positions oneself in the context of religion, and how the belief in a way has changed the kind of mindset and their attitudes towards the resources. And in this we are trying to look at how religion also tries to in making human beings sort of the kind of attitude or the control over the animate and the inanimate world, and our action in a way is also, like for instance, the arrogance and the kind of dominant power or dominating power over nature in a way can have a certain kind of reaction or a backfire. So, in a simple sense, the kind of actions and behaviors which we tend to show towards the animate and inanimate world will eventually backfire, and perhaps that is the stage which we are in a way witnessing. And for instance, the carbon emissions, so on and so forth, which is pretty much highlighted when we discuss about the climate change, is also to be contextualized and understand by bringing in the human everyday's or way of life. Now, how can religion in a way provide sort of in coping or in understanding these problems better? Religion in a way can provide at least three fundamental mainstays to help human beings cope with in a technological society. And the first and foremost is it tries to defend the individual's existence against the depersonalizing effects of the techno-industrial process. Now, when we talk about depersonalizing, we are again trying to in a way sort of distance ourselves from the surroundings which we have as a process of this techno-industrial, or with the help of technology and industry. Now, the second is it forces the individuals to recognize human fallibility and to combine realism with idealism. Now, humans in a way which perhaps is presumed to be equipped with so much of knowledge which are guided by reasoning and empirical facts or empirical reality, in a way should be combined with idealism, or sort of the not only the ideas, but also the beliefs what an individual has. So, therefore, only in that sense we will be able to realize that human in a way is fallible, and also the kind of problems which we created in a way is enormous, and it can in a way fire back. Now, thirdly, while technology in a way gives the individual the physical to create or to destroy the world, religion on the other hand gives a moral strength to grow in virtue by nurturing restraint, humility and liberation from self-centeredness. So, this idea of feeling of self-centeredness, which is embedded with selfishness, greediness and the desire for accumulation of wealth, all this in a way is again not really denounced, but religion in a way can subside by creating sort of inculcating rather the moral ethics and values in an individual. Now, over a period of time, if you look at since the post-industrial period, and then with the rise of capitalism and so on and so forth, human have become more or less mechanized, and we have in a way become a subservient of the machine which we all initially have created. Now, we tends to be guided by the dictates of these machines, and the question sometimes arises, does human make machines or machines make human rather? So, that sort of ideas are in a way governing the everyday life. Now, if you have time, you can perhaps browse in the YouTube on the short movie by Charlie Chaplin called The Modern Times. So, over there you will tends to witness how humans have sort of become enslaved by machines, and the kind of routine people follow in terms of sort of manufacturing and producing certain kinds of products has eventually taken away the self of an individual. And in this context, we can also recall about Marx's understanding of uh, the materialistic production, wherein he strongly talks about alienation, how a labor in a way constrains from the final product what he produces. Now, moving on, we seldom tends to question or tends to look at the inner desire and inner meanings of human life, because we are so much focused with the external and the material aspects of life. Therefore, religion is sort of an alternative way, or it could be perhaps a solution to the problems which we are encountering. Now, if you look at this, the idea of this divine being as the one which has in a way an underlying power of unity is perhaps beautifully espoused in the book of this what we call Yajurveda. Now, in this I quote, it says that the loving sage beholds that being hidden in mystery, wherein the universe comes to have one home. Therein unites and therefrom emanates the whole. The omnipresent one pervades souls and matter like warp and woof in created beings. Now, this in a way shows the kind of wholesomeness and holistic of how an individual has become part of whole. Now, if we can recall Herbert Spencer, who is well known for his organismic theory of society, in a way sees or emphasizes that an individual is compared to the organs of a body, and these organs put together becomes a single body. So, in a way, we as an individual or are put together, and which in a way tends to struggle and work for the whole. So, therefore, the idea of this unity rather than being divided or being scattered is pretty much strongly emphasized in this book of this Yajurveda, and this eventually has also strongly propagated about this the sanctity of life. Now, nextly in the book of this Atharva Veda, the art is not created for human beings alone, but for other creatures as well. So, again we sometimes tends to be guided by these anthropocentric ideas that we humans are as if we are given inalienable rights to control and dominate the species which are around us, and we human beings are the rightful owner or who have that authority to in a way control or things which are around in this universe. Now, Atharva Veda has in a way a different opinion in this context, and which talks about how where I quote, born of the on these move mortal creatures, but thou bearest them, which means talks about venerate about the creator that it created. And bife and quadruple, thine, O art, are the 5 races of man, for whom the Surya, that is the sun, as he rises, spreads with his rays the light that is immortal. Now, if you take it this way, if we feel that we human beings alone in a way can survive, that could perhaps be the stupidest and blunder we are going to create. And then we should sometime reckon and then tries to retrospect, or rather engage in self introspections and think about things around us. For example, the sun, the planetary system, and so on and so forth. How without this it is impossible for us to even exist. Now, therefore, it is important to sort of realize the importance of not only these creatures also, but particularly the creator, who in a way has with so much of effort tends to create all this, and then in a way has make a life in a much more a harmonious way. Now, if you look at some of the early texts of this Sanskrit, that is the Veda, Upanishads, they strongly talks about the non-dualism of the supreme power that existed before the creation. Now, when we talk about dualism, we tends to sort of negate and differences create the differences between human and nature. Now, therefore, even in the early texts of the Sanskrit, it talks about the non-dualism of the supreme power that existed before the creation. So, as we had discussed, it strongly tries to propagate or espouse the wholesomeness, the unity, wherein every creature occupies a very important place, and every creature in that sense has the rightful to existence. Now, God in a way as the efficient cause, and nature, that is the Prakriti, as the material cause of the universe, are unconditionally accepted as their harmonious relationship. Now, the question is, how do we establish a harmonious relationship? Can we afford to maintain a harmonious relationship or cordial relationship with our surroundings by sort of utilizing our scientific and technological reasoning, or should there be other ways or alternative ways? Therefore, in this context, it is important to realize how and who has actually created the nature, and then who is in a way responsible for creating the material aspects in this universe, and which in a way has sort of unconditionally accepted this harmonious relationship. Now, again, in the book of Gita, if you look at the Lord Krishna in a way says to Arjuna that of all that is material and all that is spiritual in this world, know for certain that I am both its origin and dissolution. Now, this in a way has rightly pointed out who owns and then who is responsible for this creation of the material cause in the universe. Now, since it is clearly depicted in this book that as the Hindu religion believes that Lord Krishna in a way has overriding power over the material as well as the spiritual world, and he has that power of creating, at the same time has the power to dissolve or the dissolution, which means he can destroy and create at his own wish. And your father says again that the whole cosmic order is under me. By my will is manifested again and again, and by my will it is annihilated at the end. Now, to put it in a very simple way, if you look at the journey of the rites de passage of a human life, how we were created in the womb, and from the cradle to the journey from the cradle to the tomb, you can see the enormous amount of struggles we humans have actually witnessed and encountered, and we ourselves keep pretty much busy with educating ourselves, at the same time searching for certain kinds of ancient reasoning, and we tends to be guided by certain kind of rational behavior. But ultimately, when we die, we take nothing, because everything is where it is. So, in one sense, no matter how we try to through the use of certain kind of authority and power, we tends to dominate and control, but ultimately we submit in a very humble manner and then leave everything to the one who actually have created. Now, in some way we can link up with the kind of the human life cycle, how we were being created and then how we are being in a way destroyed and ultimately end up. So, therefore, we were created and then we go back to the one who has in a way created us. Now, thus if you look at the ancient texts of the Hindus, both God and Prakriti, that is the nature, was to be one and the same. So, if we are to equate or tries to look at how nature, that is Prakriti, and God is to be seen as the same, could we be able to exploit and then harm the nature then? Now, harming the nature in a way is also to be equated with harming the creator, that is the God. Now, that is one the moral questions which are to be in a way situate and then to looked at. Now, if you look at some of the doctrine of ahimsa, that is non-violence, and when you talk about ahimsa, I am pretty sure that you are pretty much familiar with it, because the father of the nation, that Mahatma Gandhi has used it as a strong weapon during the freedom struggle against the Britishers. Now, this particular doctrine of ahimsa, that or non-violence, is in a way borrowed from some of the religious texts of non-violence. In a way, is not to be located only in terms of a human abstaining from harming others, but also in terms of our treatment and how the nature is in a way appropriated. Now, why is it important to engage in these principles of this ahimsa? Now, according to the Hindu religion, they sort of strongly believe in this idea of the cycle of birth and rebirth. Now, what happens in this context, that is the birth and rebirth? Now, where a person is believed to sometime to come back as an animal or a bird, gives this species not only respect but also reverence. Now, I don't know much about the Hindu mythology as such, but as far as my understanding goes, if a human is with his good deeds and then if he is a good person, perhaps the chances are there that he might come back as an animal which is of a high character or which is of superior in nature, or maybe if somebody is not doing good enough and engaged in being a very uh, cruelty and then being wicked, the chances are there that they might come back as animals of a very low stature. And then maybe, for example, you can cite an example about a donkey. Now, therefore, it is important in this context to situate the animals and birds, which perhaps is not to be seen as a non-human, but rather it can transform, or maybe a human spirit or a soul might have been in that particular context, or in that particular animal or birds. So, therefore, one needs to give that kind of respect and kind treatment and reverence. Now, therefore, in certain communities, certain animals are seen to be sacred, and maybe in India at least, or maybe among the Hindu community, a cow is seen to be sacred animal. And depending on that, it differs from society to society, and sometimes these animals and plants are considered to be a totem, which in a way represent and which symbolizes certain kind of representation to a particular community. So, therefore, certain plants and animals or maybe birds are so to say given a lot of respect and then reverence. This in a way, these practices in a way provides some kind of a foundation for this doctrine of ahimsa, that is non-violence against animals and human beings alike. So, therefore, I say that I argue that it is not be limited and confined to the human fellows alone, but also to animals and plants. Now, therefore, the Hindu scriptures in a way strongly emphasize on the notion that God's grace can be received by not killing the creatures or harming His creation. Now, in other words, if you are harming the creatures, you are also in a way harming the creator. So, therefore, the creatures or the creation or the created has to be seen in this holistic manner, and one should not in a way draw a boundary, nor to certain dualism should not be created in this. Therefore, as we had discussed, that non-dualism has to be practiced. Now, as I had mentioned that how ahimsa was used as a political tool by Mahatma Gandhi, and till today there is many says that this idea of ahimsa or non-violence is irrelevant, and you can see a lot of mob lynching or sort of judgment which is being carried out instantly. So, this kind of temperament which is pretty much around us again is because we are not in a way trying or seeking certain kinds of the religious texts. If not, we do not have time for all those. Now, therefore, it is important to always rethink and relook at the sort of the relevance of ahimsa or non-violence when we specifically talk about how God and the Prakriti, that is the nature, are one body, or it is unified, and therefore, the creation and the creature in a way has to be contextualized in this context. Now, the Hindu religious text also talks about the respect for these plants. Now, if you look at the Rig Veda text, there is a common practice of this tree worship, and which was seen to be pretty much popular and universal. And why does one engage in these practices of like worshipping of tree or plants rather? The Rig Veda in a way regarded plants as having embedded divine powers, with one entire hymn devoted to their praise, chiefly with reference to their healing properties. So, the medicinal values of the herbs and shrubs in a way is because of a belief that it has certain kind of divine power of healing. Now, if you look around, it is still very much practice of how the plants and shrubs are still being used in treating certain kind of diseases, and some plants are believed to be having medicinal purposes. So, this was something which was practiced long before, that is from the time of the earliest time of this, the Rig Veda. And therefore, human at times tends to personify the existence of certain spirits and divine powers in a particular objects, maybe plants in this context. And trees were in a way considered as being animate, and this the feeling of this happiness or maybe times of grief, it is believed that every tree is supposed to have a Riksha Devata, that is a tree deity, right. Now, perhaps this is something which is pretty much common even among the people who practices animistic belief, and as a result of which this tree is worshipped with prayers and offerings of water, flowers, sweets, and encircled by sacred threads. Now, in some way, it is increasingly realized that this idea of respect or worshipping of tree in a way is seen to be instrumental in biodiversity conservation of forests particularly. Now, by many environmentalists and scientific policy making and planners, that these particular practices in a way seems irrational and illogical at times, but then if you find an alternative ways of how human, if you look at try to reveal the closeness of human to nature, such practices are in a way instrumental in trying to locate or situate of all this. Now, we'll be dealing with in larger details of the sacred groves, of how a particular community give reverence and respect to a particular forest, which is considered to be, the spirits of their ancestors dwelled in it. So, all these practices which is pretty much practices in the states like Sikkim and then Meghalaya among the Khasi community, and then some bit of that resemblance among the Meitei community in Manipur. Now, at a certain point of time, like many of the native societies were practicing all this, but with the coming of the colonialists and the Christian missionaries, or maybe the conversion to Christianity, many of these practices, sort of worshipping of nature or worshipping the trees, or maybe any objects or creatures for that matter, is seen to be anti-Christian, and this perhaps is strongly again argued by when we discuss about Lin White's, how he considered this the Christian religion as responsible for the ecological crisis. So, therefore, it is to be understood in this manner that with the change of our belief and the Christian religion basically is being guided by the Western scientific reasoning, and therefore injecting that ideas, they were able to in a way reposition and change the whole socio-cultural and religious belief of many communities and societies across the world, and especially among the native societies. Therefore, it is important that how religion in a way is instrumental in not only changing, but also how religion is to be which can deliver us from this present mess and dilemma which we are into. Now, the Hindu religious texts like the Rig Veda and then Yajur Veda in a way strongly propagated how the trees or the creatures are to be give certain kind of reverence. Therefore, the cutting of trees and destruction of flora were considered a sinful act, which means you are doing something against the commandment or the principle, the doctrine of any the Hindu religious teachings. Now, the Hindu worship of trees and plants has been in a way based partly on utility, but mostly on religious duty and mythology. Now, what is this religious duty? What is the guiding principle of how one tends to be religious in that sense? So, the first basic idea would be not to harm the creatures. Now, Hindu ancestors again consider it their duty to save trees, and in order to do that, they attach to every tree certain kind of a religious sanctity. Now, nature is seen to be sanctified, and if it is seen to be something related with the creator, therein lies the ultimate idea of how we can in a way conserve nature. Now, if you look at maybe I am just citing this Kautilya's Arthashastra, which in a way has prescribed certain kinds of code of conduct, and stringent rules were also created if somebody engaged in trying to harm and destroy the trees and plants. Now, I quote, for cutting of the tender sprouts of fruit trees or shady trees in the parks near a city, a fine of 6 panas shall be imposed. Now, the panas were sort of a currency medium of exchange which were being used during that point of time. Now, and for cutting of the minor branches of the same trees, 12 panas, and for cutting of the big branches, 24 panas where shall be levied, and the cutting of the trunks of a tree shall be punished with the first amercement, and failing shall be punished with the middlemost amercement. This is depicted in Kautilya's Arthashastra. Now, if you look at this sort of I should say that the forest policies were pretty much strong, and then the rightly enshrined in the rule of book at that point of time. Now, if you look at many of the so called the forest department, they are in a way in connivance with those lumberjacks, and a broad daylight kind of corruption is being reported every now and then, and they themselves are in a way responsible for the kind of felling of trees and ultimately deforestation. Now, perhaps sometime it is not just religion, but the kind of administrations and governance are simply not seen to be adequate and that not strong enough to sort of maintain the basic harmony between human and nature. Now, this is not something which I am going to look at and answer, but just trying to look at Kautilya's Arthashastra. Remember, 100 years before, they have this kind of guiding principle wherein an individual has to abide, or if not, this sort of immersement is being sort of being exercised. Now, again on this water pollution, if you look at water is considered by the Hindus as a powerful media of purification and also as a source of energy. For instance, just by sprinkling pure water in religious ceremonies, it is believed purity is achieved. Now, I am sure this sort of practices are part of our everyday life, and you might have personally come across and then experience. Now, again in the Rig Veda, prayer is offered to the deity of water. Maybe for instance, why is the river Ganga so much sacred to the Hindus? So, you have that sort of how water is seen to be the purest, or wherein this sanctity can be achieved through it. Now, water in the world whose source is the ocean, may all these sacred waters protect me. This is something which again is found in the Rig Veda. Therefore, the healing property and this medicinal value of this water has been universally accepted, provided it is pure and free from all pollution. Now, the question is, does the water bodies which we have, the water which flows in the rivers, are they pure enough to be used in these kind of rituals and ceremonies? Because the government, the successive government has time and again come of the cleaning the Ganga project, cleaning up and so on and so forth. Now, why is it the urge and the need to do all those? Because human tends to deface and engage in wanton dumping of waste and pollution to the water bodies around. So, therefore, the question arises, are we able to take care of this the creatures around us, or not necessarily confined to animate, but also inanimate objects. And if we have so much of these pollutions on water bodies, can it be still used as a religious purpose, wherein purity is perhaps considered to be achieved? The Manu book also again advised that one should not contaminate by simply littering and then open defecation. Anything which is mixed with these impure objects, blood and poison, should not be thrown into water. So, this is something again which is to be seen in the text of Manu Smriti. Now, with the amount of effluents which are being disposed of to the ocean by the factory, industry, manufacturing houses. So, in a way, that idea of sinful act is perhaps seen to be or put into oblivion by many of us. Now, therefore, it is important to sort of revisit the ancient texts or the early texts, so that our mistakes are being realized. Still today, if you look at many of these rivers are still considered to be sacred, and the river Ganges is sort of considered by the Hindu community mostly as the most sacred and respectable. And disposal of human waste and other pollutants has been prohibited since time immemorial. Now, when we talk about since time immemorial and the present, so you can see a lot of changes, and perhaps humans have acted so much against the nature to that extent that sometimes there is a strong opinion that it will be difficult to go back to that pristine states. So far, we have discussed some of the ancient religious texts, what is being enshrined in the Rig Veda, Manusmriti, and then also Kautilya's Arthashastra, so on and so forth. Now, we will try to look at some of the case studies, mainly how this sort of biodiversity conservation has been practices in the past, maybe 300 years or 400 years before. And perhaps at least in the Indian context, we can draw certain kind of clue and examples from these communities. Now, the Bisnois, for example, they are a pretty small community based in the state of Rajasthan, who in a way practice a religion of environmental conservation. They are being guided by this ethos of environmental conservation, and they believe that cutting a tree or killing an animal or a bird is seen to be sort of a blasphemy, that is a haram. Now, a sinful act rather. Now, their religion again is an offshoot of Hinduism, and which was founded by their guru, the Maharaja Jambaji, who was born in 1451 CE in the Marwar area. Now, what actually demanded, or why did this Maharaj in a way realize that nature has to be sort of conserved, and why is it important? So, this strong realization came when this Maharaja was still young, in his young days. The area has witnessed a severe drought at that point of time, and perhaps as a result of the drought, many of the trees were also not in existence. So, the animals doesn't have enough food to sustain themselves. So, at this point, this Maharaj in a way realized that had there been a large number of trees or forest cover is huge, perhaps the animals can sustain themselves. Now, as a result of this, if the animals are being protected, in a way the community can also survive. So, perhaps they were practicing this pastoralism. Now, the pastoralists are pretty much dependent on the animals, not just for the animal to survive, but for the community to survive. The presence of animal is pretty much required. Now, as a result of this, the Maharaj Raja gave 29 injunctions and principles among them, and one of them being the ban on cutting off any green tree and killing of an animal or bird. Now, perhaps you might have always encountered in the news that the poaching of that black buck, wherein the Bollywood star Salman Khan has been summoned by the court, and then that case is still on. And this black buck in a way is again seen to be sacred by this Bishnoi community. Now, about 300 years later, Interestingly, um, when the king of Jodhpur was planning to build his new palace, you all know what is required when a house or a palace is to be built. You need a lot of timbers and then log woods. Therefore, he sent his soldiers to the Bisnois area where trees were in abundance. As a result of that, the Maharaj were, who in a way strongly appealed or maybe ordered the community to conserve the forest. Now, as a result of this, they have this, the trees were grown abundantly. But the villagers protested against the felling of these trees against the king of this Jodhpur. Now, as a result of this, since they were resisting, the soldiers happens to killed some of them. Now, in this, one very important things which are being witnessed is the Bisnois women were hugging the trees as a sign of protecting them. And if the tree is to be felled, they should be killed first rather. So, in a way, that kind of so much of the caring and nurturing of the trees is being shown in the context of this the Bisnoi community. Now, which perhaps was sort of the first case of the environmental movement in India. Now, as the soldiers were engaged in felling of trees, so they have to like kill the people, the villagers, and but the village doesn't stop, but they came in support of each other, and then they stood strongly in honor of the injunction which was being provided by their late Guru Maharaj Sambhaji. Now, this sort of selfless sacrifice was reached the ear of the king of Jodhpur, and this massacre continued, and then altogether there was a figure of these 360 persons who were being killed as a result of defending the trees. Now, when the king heard about this, he stopped the operation and also gave the Bisnois community sort of a legal state protections for their belief, that is in conserving the forest. Now, today it is the Bisnoi community in a way continues to go on with these practices, that is protecting the trees and animals with the same fervor. And perhaps the Bisnoi community is the best example of a true Hindu based ritual defense of the environment in India. Now, why are we talking about this is because a religion or which was founded and which sort of inculcated the ideas of this biodiversity conservation or creating certain kind of environmental awareness were strongly followed, and perhaps this was instrumental in shaping and then forming this huge army of we have this sort of the green movement, so on and so forth today in the contemporary period. So, perhaps they were the Green Brigade who were in a way engaged in protecting the environment. Now, slightly Mahatma Gandhi also talks about that nature had enough for everybody's need, but not for everybody's greed. So, normally when the greed is much more in us, we tend to harm and then engage enormously in exploiting the nature. Gandhi again is a believer in drawing upon the rich variety of spiritual and cultural heritage of India. And perhaps his Satyagraha movement was the perfect example from how one could confront and unjust and uncaring through this extremely superior power. So, in a way, this idea of how an individual or a particular community draws certain kind of inspirations from the teachings, or they are being inspired by certain religious texts or an individual like the Jambaji Maharaja. We can see that the loyal followers or loyal pupil of them, even when they are such a handful in a small community, were in a way able to highlight the importance of biodiversity conservation in the Indian context at least. Now, for this further reading, you can refer this article by O.P. Dwivedi, that is Satyagraha for Conservation, Awakening the Spirit of Hinduism, which is a chapter from the edited book of Ethics of Environment and Development. Now, you can go on reading this for further understanding and an in-depth analysis of how the Hindu religion in a way can create certain kind of an alternative ways of the environmental problems. Now, as I had said, we will be looking at the sort of rebuttal which was given by Pope John Paul to Lynn White's argument about the Judeo-Christian, which is considered to be the responsible for the ecological crisis. Now, what I have drawn this from Pope John Paul's letter on the occasions of an Environment Day, and wherein he talks about the ecological crisis is not, we cannot single out one particular group of professing faith or maybe a community, but rather it is a common responsibility. And he tries to explain by sort of reinventing the Christian religion, because many have given a critics by drawing from the book of Genesis when the creation of the universe was being done. Now, God's first, what he says is God's first self revelation to humanity can be seen from the portion of this, the book of Genesis 1 to 3, and which says that, and God saw that it was good. After creating the heaven, the sea, the earth, and all it contains, God created man and woman. And since the creation is complete, so God still feel that everything seems to be good. So, and but then He created the human, that is the first man and woman, that is Adam and Eve, which was supposedly in the biblical understanding they were the first human. Now, God entrusted this whole of creation to the man and woman, and only then, as we read, could He rest from all His work, because earlier there was no presence of human, but even when He felt that it was good, He felt it was inadequate, so He created human. Now, if you look in the portion of the Genesis, it is also said that God created human in the images of God, that is the first human, as I said, Adam and Eve were created and were to have exercised their dominion over the earth, that is with wisdom and love. That was perhaps the first commandment God has given to them, that is with wisdom and love, that is in caring and nurturing. But instead they destroyed the existing harmony by deliberately going against the Creator's plan, that is by choosing to sin. So once they choose to sin, if you look in the portion in the Genesis, there is a particular apple in the heart of the Garden of Eden. God has, in a way, forbid them to eat the apple, but then they goes against the will of God, and then they eat the apple. So that was perhaps the starting point where they sin and goes against the plant. This resulted, as a result of this, they were in a way, thrown out of the Garden of Eden. That is the first form of alienation from himself in death and fratricide, but also in the earth's rebellion against him. Now, this explanation is required because what Pope John Paul, in a way, says that it should not be misread, because perhaps it is not the plan of God, but rather human have chosen the other path, which in a way is the first form of dissent and rebellion against God. Now, interestingly, how does there's a dramatic turn over this, that is how a new hope or a new aspiration is being created. Now, Christians generally believe that the death and resurrection of Christ, that is Jesus Christ, in a way is perceived to be the accomplishment of the work of reconciling humanity to the Father, who was pleased through Christ to reconcile to himself all things. That is, everything is being reconciled, because whether on earth or heaven, making peace by the blood of his cross. So in a way, to reconcile, God sent his only begotten Son on the earth, and he in a way sort of cleansed the sin of human by shedding blood. Now, creation was thus made new. Now, this is cited again from the Revelation, the book of Revelation. Now, once subjected to the bondage of sin and decay, it has now received a new life, while we wait for new heavens and a new earth with righteousness dwells. Now, in a way, the mistakes or the sin which was against the plan of God in the Genesis by Adam and Eve is sort of being forgiven, and a sort of a new lease of life or a new reconciliation is taking place as a result of the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. Now, thus the Father has made known to us in all wisdom and insights the mystery, that is, which he set forth in Christ as a plan for the fullness of time to unite all things in him, all things heaven and things on earth. That is sort of the sanctification of life, wherein a new lease of hope and a new lease of life is being enshrined in among the humanity. Now, this biblical consideration helps us to understand better the relationship between human activity and the whole of creation. When man turns his back on the Creator's plan, that is God, he provokes a disorder which has inevitable repercussions on the rest of the created order. Now, what Pope John Paul in a way emphasized is the respect for life. That is the most profound and seriously indication of the moral implications which is to be seen in the present context, that is the ecological problems, is because of the lack of respect of life, which means apart from our fellow human beings, we humans tends to not really care about things around us, that is the creation. Now, which is pretty much evident, and then which we can witness in the patterns of the problems which are being created, that is the environmental pollution. Now, on another level, the delicate ecological balances are upset by the uncontrolled destructions of animal and plants life, or by sort of reckless exploitation of natural resources. Now, therefore, the prerequisite or the idea which is being needed is respect for life, and above all for the dignity of the human person, which in a way is the ultimate guiding norm of any sound economic and industrial or scientific processes. Now, the second thing is a peaceful society. Now, how do we have this harmonious relationship not just among human, but also with other creation? No peaceful society can afford to neglect either respect of life for life, or the fact that there is an integrity to creation. Now, therefore, it is increasingly realized that there is an urgent need for certain kind of a unity or a solidarity. Now, this ecological crisis in a way reveals the urgent moral need for a new solidarity, that is especially in relations between the developing nations and those that are highly industrialized. Now, therefore, it is sort of an appeal from the Pope John Paul that the ecological crisis is a common responsibility. Therefore, all nations should in a way join hands and come together and form sort of an alliance, so that a solidarity is they can face the problems which we in a more united manner. Now, when this ecological crisis is set within the broader context for in quest for peace within society, we can perhaps better understand the importance of giving attention to what the earth is. So, the search for peace within is also something which we had discussed already in the context of the Buddhist principles or in Buddhism, wherein they strongly talk about to be at peace with every creation. Now, so that sort of an order or certain kind of a responsibility can be preserved for the well-being of the future generation. And therefore, the ecological crisis is nothing but to be seen as a moral issue, that is, which can only be fixed or which can only be solved by the religious ideals or religious practices. So, this action which we normally is acted against the other creation is something which can be rectified and reconciled through this religious understanding. Now, as we have discussed the religious understanding, why is it important for a particular community which is also strongly based on the religious ethos and values, and also how this religion, the Christian religion, which is blamed for the ecological crisis, in a way has to be re-looked, and then the sort of revivalism needs to be created. Therefore, this ecological crisis can be sorted out. Now, perhaps you can refer this book The Ecological Crisis, a Common Responsibility, which is a message by the Pope John Paul, and you can have much more insights and ideas by looking at it. Thank you.